Biggie, that was arguably the Suns' best performance of the season. Very simply, where did that sort of form come from? What was it built on?
Oh, it was built on a bit of pride and respect that our playing group have for each other and for the club. We were really disappointed last week, and clearly there'd been, a rivalry that had well weighted towards Brisbane's favour over the last 9 attempts, and we just wanted to make sure we actually came out today and tonight and put a good account of ourselves. And I thought, to a man, our players, each and every one of them, played their role and a bit more.
And was that spoken about during the week, the rivalry between the Lions?
Not the rivalry, but I think certainly as a club, you don't want to, you can't allow teams to push and shove you around and get the wood on you. And that had happened in the past, and we'd fallen short a few times. We knew our best is good enough to challenge any team, no matter how good they are. And Brisbane are a really good team and a really good club. But yeah, it was a source of inspiration for the week for us to realign our focus after a disappointing game last week and come up this week.
Can you take us into some of your thinking behind some of your moves to Lockie Neal and Matty Rao played quite a bit of half forward in that first quarter where he normally starts in the middle? Can you take us into your thinking there? Sometimes you get players come to you and demand opportunity to do a job for the team, and that was one. Touk declared himself he wanted that role, and so that's that match-up. We've got a lot of mids that we want to try and give midfield time to. Rowley's elite at what he does, but he needs to continue to grow his game as well, and we just felt like we could get an advantage in different parts of the game with our mid-depth but players being selfless to do that for us as a team. So we've had Sammy Flanders, Dave Swallow spent a bit more time in there, and we're really keen to get Bailey Humphries around the footy a bit more. He was a bit starved of opportunity last week. So to do that, you need players to do what's right for the team and right for each other, and we had that tonight. We've seen previous matches against Brisbane, you've competed for 3 quarters, but not the way you have to. Why were you able to run that game out tonight, or I guess complete what you haven't done previously?
That's a good question. I think our playing group had enough. As a footy club, we'd had enough of honourable losses and coming up short. I think, I just think the players found it within themselves to inspire one another to create a really positive memory for themselves and for the footy club, and that's what happened tonight.
In the context of the last few weeks and also the significance of this win being over Brisbane, what does it do for the morale of the group? What does this win really mean for you?
I think it's bigger than just 4 points. It builds belief. This playing group we have here at this footy club's unbelievable, and I think when we're connected for 4 quarters of footy, that's the result. So we're still a pretty young group. We still have lapses in games, moments where we've got to try and navigate our way through momentum shifts. And I thought, so as I've said before, each time you have a disappointing result or a loss or a moment in a game that doesn't go your way, it has to mean something. And I think we're starting to educate ourselves around what that moment might look like and feel like, and our players are getting experience in those moments to stand up. So to answer your question, that means more than 4 points tonight. It's significant for our footy club. Good wins at VFL and AFL level means a lot.
To get the win the game before as well, and a huge win as well, is there a feeling that's bigger than just this team that goes onto that VFL side as well?
It takes a whole club to get a result. So our VFL group have been unbelievable all year, and I think they're starting to understand how important they are to this group, to keep pushing for selection, to raise the floor from beneath, to make sure that everyone that represents this club at AFL level are under pressure to perform. And that's all the best clubs. They have really successful VFL programs, and I've been lucky enough to be part of clubs that have had real success at VFL level before it translates into AFL form. So that's clearly building here. It's still a long way to go, but we've got a group of committed players that want to play this season out.
Mac Andrew, had a really good game as well. He's one of those youngsters, you mentioned you're a young team. Can you touch on what you thought of his performance today? Yeah,
I thought he was really solid last week. He's growing with belief. He's got an unbelievable ability to read the ball off someone's boot. He's so athletic. So look, Mac's really exciting. But what's really pleased me with Mac is how much he wants to play for his teammates, and he wants to play for Charlie Ballard and Sam Collins and his back six and make sure that he earns their trust and respect, and I think he's starting to do that.
We don't often, before we ask Touk about this, we don't often get to see one gun mid on the opposition's best mid for a whole game anymore. We still talk about Fife going on Dangerfield years later. What were your thoughts when Touk came to you and said, I want Lockie for the game?
oh, he's a Brownlow medalist. So we had to do something and have a plan for him. And for someone for Tuke's quality and standing in the game to declare that, as a coach, you've got no option but to. That's him. That's his team. He's captain of our club along with Witter. When they come to your office and declare something, you run with it. And I knew straight away early in the week that Tuke was, it was going to be a great matchup for us with the way he went about it.
Can I just ask Kingy one more before Tuke? Ben King,
Yep.
what did he do so well tonight? What got him into the game?
Oh, I think for Ben, I was just really pleased the way he responded. I mean, he's a young key forward, as I said during the week, that is going to face obstacles and challenges. And the resilience and character of him to just absorb what was going around in the background. But for him, he's just got to work, trained really strongly, gave him a couple of focuses that took the pressure off him, and I think he took that on board really well, and that allowed him then to play with freedom and the strengths and athleticism that he has.
I might start with Tuke, if that's okay. Tuke, I want to go back to the Lockie matchup, because obviously, we as an audience can see physically what's happening on the field, but I want you to talk to me about the mental battle with him, because we could see, both of you really tussling, niggling against each other, particularly in that fourth quarter. How did you get the mental game on him throughout that game to shut him down?
Look, I respect Lockie as a player. Like you said, he's a Brownlow medalist and he plays a really quality brand of football. But I guess for me, it was just more about bringing my weapons to the party. So I felt like for me, it was less about Lockie and it was what I could do by using my weapons on him. And I guess you talk about the mental game as well. It's probably hard, like when you're on the receiving end of a team where our whole entire team was playing really well. So that just helps my battle even more. So I think I was just more grateful that I had a whole 22 blokes on the playing for each other that then helped my role be a lot easier.
Obviously, it's your fourth medal now. What does that mean to you, and what does it mean to lead this side as well this occasion?
Obviously really grateful to win that a few times, but for me, when you win them, it means we've probably won the game. So I think I'm more just thankful that we had an opportunity to win, and those guys have touched us up quite a few times in the past, and I was really just humbled for our team to finally get the wood over him and really put him to the sword. So really thankful for that.
Why did you want the matchup too?
I just think that he's a really quality player, and I back myself against him. So I think I have an ability to be able to play on someone and still play my own game, and I feel like I was able to do that tonight. So I wanted to kind of put him to the sword as much as I could, but then use my weapons as well going the other way. So I feel like I tried to live that as best I could.
It must have meant a lot for you. You're one player that's been happy to voice his, displeasure about the opposition. The fact that you don't like Brisbane's not a secret. Like, that must mean a lot to you after the years of struggle against them.
Yeah, it does. If I'm being honest, there was part of me was relieved, there was excitement, there was just a thrill that we were able to put him to the sword. It wasn't a close game. We actually, we kicked some goals on him late and had that bit of party time to a degree, which is just something you don't get against really quality teams. So I think for me, I was just really happy to be in the moment and just relish that with my teammates who all were playing for each other, and I just thought it was a fantastic game from everyone.
Should that set the tone for how you finish the season?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've still got a lot of challenging games coming up, but we just lower our eyes to the next game. We've got week by week. I think we've got about 4 games left, 4 or 5 games. So I think we just lower our eyes to next week and make sure that we focus on putting another 4-quarter effort together as a team.
You set a pretty high benchmark now. That was, either of you can answer this. That's from start to finish as good as you've played. It's a pretty, I don't know whether it's good evidence or just a high benchmark or how you think of that as you go forward.
To be fair, it's just something we have to deliver on. Like King mentioned it before, but for us to play a 4-quarter effort and deliver on our brand of football is what we need to do every week, and that's the expectation. So you say it's a high benchmark, but that's just what footy asks of you. So if we're able to do that every week, I think we're going to get more wins and losses.
Tuke, if you can take your memory back to just before you broke after half-time, there was a really tight-knit huddle on the field. It was quite different from what we saw from the Lions field. Who initiated that huddle and what was said?
We just talked about we needed to have a really positive first 5 minutes. I think for us it was all about we've got to start the quarter well, don't let him in the door, and we can go from there. So we just have to set ourselves up in the start of the quarter.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.